Gender and women empowerment in the past, especially in our country, were more directed towards social welfare and human rights. But you all look back and remember, because of trade liberalization, it has become a key competitiveness issue for growth and global competitiveness. The National Export Strategy in perspective, what is this? It's a medium-term planning framework that was designed and launched in 2007 to direct export development from 2008 to 2012. And what the target is 18% growth, or even better surpass it, achievement of at least $5 billion US dollars per year in revenue from exports. At the moment, we're getting about 3.5. Then more than 16% contribution to our GDP. Currently, it's about 14. It has jumped from about 11%. That's an improvement ever since we launched the strategy. Then to also improve our per capita income ratio. How did we engender the national export strategy? We had to ensure issues of ownership, that everybody is part of it. When we had to bring together different people, we had government ministries and departments. MTTI stands for Ministry of Tourism, Trade and Industry. Then Gender, Labor and Social Development. The Ministry of Education. We had civil society organizations like Center for Economic Empowerment of Women in Africa, the Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Association. We had the academia from the Department of Gender Studies, Makerere University, private sector and export community, Private Sector Foundation, Uganda Employers Federation. We had National Planning Authority to ensure that this strategy is included in the National Development Plan, because we are replacing the PEP, which was the Poverty Eradication Action Plan that has ended. Then other trade support institutions. Key to this was International Trade Center, whose methodology and guidelines were used. Now, we had to select sectors because this is a pilot. We are the first people in the world, I think, to come up with a gender dimension of a national export strategy. So because of limited resources, we had to look at 4 sectors. After all that consultation, we came up with the commercial and crafts, coffee, dairy products, and tourism. Now, we had to come up with a criteria for selection because every sector would have wanted to be represented. So we had to look at that. Sectors with a contribution, relevance to national socio-economic goals, with greater participation of women in the economy and exporting. Sectors where women have demonstrated a high potential for entrepreneurship, investment, but then their capacity is hampered by many factors such as finance, information, and skills. How could we get into that and be addressed? Sectors that are experiencing a high level of growth in international markets, then sectors with a high potential of value addition. When we looked at the value chain, for example, of coffee, we discovered that the women are down low as the farmers. But as you come up the value chain, they vanish. What are the issues that we have to identify along the value chain and how best they can be addressed? The ITC methodology guided us. We divided this into 3. The border-in issues, we're looking at skills, cultural attitudes, and then strategies and interventions that can be there. Border issues, where we have energy, land, commercial environment, and infrastructure. Then market access issues, entry strategies. To what extent do bilateral and other trade negotiations make recognition of gender issues in them? We kept the president in the know-how. He was actually the one that launched the strategy. That was the day of the launch. So we came up with objectives, performance targets, measures, initiatives that have to be mounted to achieve the objectives. We are piloting this with the International Trade Center. So far successful, but of course now we've got to implement. So we call upon development partners to join us in the effective implementation of this strategy so that it can be replicated in other countries and other sectors.